Live, and for those watching on YouTube, hi, welcome. Thank you for joining me today for this conversation and book launch. If you are here, I just turned my camera to the opposite of what I wanted to show. Okay, yeah, hi guys. Thank you for joining. This is the book launch for my book Situationship: How to Start Breaking Your Own Heart. A normal situation would be in a room popping champagne or something, but here we are in my living room. So thank you for joining nonetheless. I see you, Dami, Bisoy. You guys confuse me with your names. I became Esther, Oreo, or nice to see you guys. Thank you guys for joining. If you're here, spread the word. Send it to a friend or two so that we can multiply ourselves. But yeah, I want to honor your time. Thank you for being on time. I'm really excited you're here today. So we're here talking about my book today, Situationship: How to Stop Breaking Your Own Heart. I want to give a giant shout out to you guys that have bought it already and have spread the word fan. Yeah, thank you for buying the whichever copy you bought on Amazon, on Kindle, on Google Books, Akada Books. Thank you guys for buying it. I see you all, Yumika, Marilyn, Boo. You guys are amazing. Thank you guys for joining in. So, if you're just coming, I'm saying literally spread the word. Invite a friend to join us here. Um, okay, so today we're talking about this book, Situationship: How to Start Breaking Your Own Heart, and what it is about, why I wrote it. And then I'm going to read from the first introduction. I actually wanted to read it like we would if I was with you guys in your room, and there'll be commentary as well. So exciting stuff, you guys, my fans. I see you with the whole author. I know I'm really excited about this. Thank you guys. So in this is gonna be short. It might not be a full hour. So let's get into it already. Why I wrote this book. So today's dating is like really stressful because like we nobody really tells you what to do. Like, are you supposed to? The guys always have to ask the girl out. When do you know when you've moved from talking to actually dating? All those kinds of things. Like you don't really have a timeline or any pointers really on how to do things right. But what we all know is that it's the talking parts, the endless talking is very stressful. Like just being in the talking stage forever, being undefined, not sure if you're like just friends or more than friends. And it's kind of what led me to title the book Situationship. It's because it's that confusing space of not being more than friends, but not being dating partners as well, just dating partners, not being official, sha. So yeah, that is the inspiration behind the book. And then it was the subtitle "How to Stop Breaking Your Own Heart" came from the idea that when you get into situationships, like it's not like anybody forced you into it. It's you that you've allowed it to continue happening. Um, you know that this isn't official. You know that this might lead to something more or it might not, and somehow you're still staying. So it's something that you've done to yourself. You're breaking your own heart. You know that this is you don't know what this is, and pretty much you're still continuing. Um, the agenda for today is pretty sweet. I'm going to read the introduction and I'll answer some questions that were asked in advance. And I'm going to do a giveaway. If you already have the book, I don't want you to miss out. So you can choose whether to have one of the statements from the book written on the shirt, and I think it's going to be "Speak life over your love life." I really like that phrase, so I want to get it made into t-shirts. So if you already have the book, that will be the giveaway, the thing to win for the giveaway. So what you can do is, if you're interested in winning a book or a shirt, whichever one it is you want to win, just let me know in the comments. Say book or shirt, and that's pretty much what it is. I just want to reward you for being here and taking the time out on a Monday to be here. All right. If you guys have questions as we go, there's the question mark thing. Just type in your questions there, and I will take them from there. So I'm going to answer the questions of the people that are actually here, and then I will add some extras of for people that like other questions that were frequently asked questions. Share. I see the shirts. Shirts are winning. I guess you guys already have the books. That's why. Anyways, so let's get into it. I want to read the introduction in my own words and in my own voice. Yes, and comment about it because that's what we're gonna do. If you have the book, this is part where you read along. I really wish I could sign it, but this COVID situation, I don't know how we're gonna do that. Yeah, thank you guys. I see you ordered the books, excited, and I already see you have questions waiting. We're already in the introduction part now. All right. So this whole thing started out being about me. I pride myself on being very self-aware, and I can usually point out my own flaws before others see it. However, in 2017, I felt like I'd been making the same mistakes with my relationships, or more accurately, situationships. What was even worse was that it was not one situationship. Instead, it was a series of situationships, which in retrospect had a pattern to them that I did not recognize. So much for being self-aware. things changed at the beginning of 2018 when I was single, that is, not talking to anyone in any shape or form. You all know that there's sometimes you say you're single, but you're not really single because there's like a strict train of guys waiting, waiting in your DMs. So yeah, me, I was single, sha. Um, Graduate school had just gotten done, and all the job leads I thought I had fallen through. So what does a single unemployed person do? Think deeply about our life. So that's what I did. I started to reflect on the last situationship I had gotten into and how messed up it was. It was the kind of situation that had the potential to make me the topic of gossip on social media. If what about it had spread, I find it interesting that I'm now talking about this situationship in on social media after saying it could have made me the topic of gossip. Anywho, so it was embarrassing that I had agreed to be strung along by a guy who had no specific intentions stated. This guy was your typical nice church guy. He served and had a very humble vibe to him. He spoke in tongues with a lot of confidence and talked about his many spiritual achievements, which I now realize is not a make holy thing to do. Everybody liked and respected him. It was these characteristics that made the end of the story not more unforeseeable. We'll call him not so angelic. So I've gotten a few DMs about this not so angelic thing, but let me give you guys the gist about how that happened. So Yoruba angels. I mean demons rather, Yoruba demons. I just figured if you say the to be more generic or to be more to appeal to a wider audience, they might not know what a Yoruba demon is. So not so angelic is my way of saying Yoruba demon. At least now you know. So yeah, I let all my guard down around not so angelic because I guess when you think you're around someone holy, you throw caution to the wind. Everything seemed nice. I enjoyed our growing friendship, spiritual conversations, and positive vibes. To be honest, if I had been more vigilant, I would have noticed that some things were off about our interactions. Not so angelic was evasive in his responses to my questions. So evasive means you're not answering, basically. Um, Instead of providing a straightforward answer, he would opt for a long story that never quite answered the question. So like I don't even know how I felt for this to be honest, because I'm pretty smart, but I don't know how it happened. On my part, I preferred budding undefined relationship to the loneliness of singleness. I was struggling with finding my tribe, people I got along with, and who could provide me with a sense of love and belonging. This is just me being honest. I figured I would focus all my energy on finding the love that I assumed would cure my loneliness. This story, with not so angelic, ended up with me finding out that I was the other option he was considering, while he awaited confirmation from the Holy Spirit about his real girlfriend. Yeah. It turns out not so angelic's holiness did not stop him from pursuing me as plan B in case his primary relationship did not work out. And my cowardice and quest for love did not allow me to demand better. I could not summon the courage to ask questions to define the relationship. I'll leave that story now and focus on why I read the book. But before I leave, it's actually really, I figured I had to just own my own part as well, right? You can't just blame someone for being like, for just dragging you on. You have to, I was there as well. Why was I staying? If you're asking someone questions and they're not answering, why are you staying? That's pretty much what this is. So like, but I'm sure you all have been there as well. Like, why do we stay in suboptimal relationships? So like if somebody is not answering your questions, you're saying what are we doing? And they're saying we're pencils in their in the eyes of God, at the hands of God. Like why do we stay? What makes it appealing? Is it the idea that we're not I mean for me, let me answer my own question. For me it was that I felt like I needed friends and we all need a sense of love and somebody that knows us and likes us. And friends fill this gap, but I wasn't really finding my tribe. Like people I really got along with, people that literally I could gel with. And I think that made me more susceptible to literally fall into anyone's hands, to just accept any kind of relationship as because half bread is better than none. I think that was the idea, or that's what made me fall shy. But you guys, what's your experience? What makes you stay in relationships that are not optimal? And if you're just joining us, hello, welcome to you. If you guys have questions, you can just ask it in the question thing, and there's a question mark thing under here, and you can ask questions, and I'll answer them. Anyway, let me keep reading. I'm reading from the introduction of my book. If you have it, read along. I'm on page Roman numeral 5. In 2018, when I had my awakening about situationships, I decided to journal about it. I hope that planning to avoid situationships in the new year would help make it a reality. Spoiler alert, it worked! Anyways, I hope that planning to avoid situationships in the new year would help make it a reality. I already said that part. I titled my journal entry "How Not to Break Your Own Heart in 2018 and Henceforth: A Guide for Fope by Fope." And this actually is still on my Instagram highlights. It's still somewhere on my Instagram highlights. It's on the Faves one. I think it's titled Faves, and you can see screenshots, pictures I took of my journal. One of my four rules for preventing future heartbreak was "Thou shalt not be thirsty." Girl, yeah, I had to get it together. It was an idea that came from me realizing that I had been so thirsty for love that I was too quickly accepting random guys into my life. So, in one sense, it was my fault that I was ending up in unhealthy relationships. I realized that meeting random people was not my fault, right? But sorry, I'm losing myself. I realized that meeting random people was not my fault. However, accepting them into my life and camping with them certainly was a decision I was making, or at least it was a result of my negligence. Like, you're either not paying attention or you're consciously accepting this. So I owned up to my fault and wrote out a plan to do better. And I did better, thank God. During this season of reflecting, I realized that I had some blousy beliefs about love. I believed that I was incomplete. I was also scared of ending up alone. I felt like I was running out of time to find someone. Let me also add that I wanted to have sex, y'all. I felt like saving sex for marriage was not the hardest thing, but striving for sexual purity in what I thought and watched was getting harder by the day. This thing is real. Like, there's literally no TV show you watch this day that there's no sex involved. Or like there's that time of the month, like let's be real, where like there's like unnecessary on there's a seriously strong urge to just like make babies. Your body's like make a baby, make a baby, make a baby. And like if you don't make one, they're like, okay, I'm gonna attack you for not making one. So like it's just yeah, that was part of my struggle. Let me just say that out here. I was barely 22 at the peak of these emotions, but I strongly felt that I had to do something about my singleness. It felt like a disease that needed a cure. I was sure that I had to meet someone right away or my window of opportunity would close. Hindsight grants us the privilege of clarity, so I also want to be fair to my younger self. It is indeed much easier to make new friends and to go on new dates um, when you're young and in school because you're surrounded by people of similar ages and mindsets. It's a legitimate desire to want to meet someone and to prioritize being in a relationship. And I talk about these desires a lot in this book, both by discussing how to find more date-worthy people and by discussing being proactive about your search for someone awesome to do life with. Like the guy who's on the side capturing pictures of me. Shout out to Obi. And he also designed the book cover and all things amazing. So check him out if you need help with design. Um, so, where was I? At the same time, it is essential to realize that we do not have total control over this process of getting into a relationship. So we cannot deny the hand of God in orchestrating time and chance. Pretty much, you can do everything. Thank you. It's my birthday. I see. Happy birthday. Oh yeah, I forgot to say that it's my birthday. Um, you can't really be you can be intentional about wanting relationships, right? But then you can't want it so much that it's like defining everything you're doing because then you just be stressed by everything that's happening. You won't necessarily be checking out guys with your up to your standard. It will be desperation kind of that is guiding in that sense. So there's a time a part God plays in all these things where you could be doing everything right and still nothing is happening, which is where I ask God for help. By the way, if you read my caption to my birthday post, I was praying for my birthday dress to come. It came, but the dress was trash, so I'm not wearing it. So God answered this prayer, but me, I did bad in choosing the dress, I guess. So anyway, so yeah, we cannot deny the hand of God in orchestrating time and chance. Neither can we forget that we still need someone else to do their part. Again, you need somebody to do the work. Oh, my mom joined Instagram to say congrats. Hi, mommy. Okay, sorry, I had to say hello. Neither can we forget that you still need someone else to do their part to make things work. My eagerness to meet someone and being anxious about not seeing things happen on my preferred timeline did not help. It only led to me welcoming everyone that seemed like a potential date without really screening them. This is what I was saying, that you literally welcome everyone that seems like a potential date. Um, do you know this potential thing is so big? At one point, I felt like I didn't want to be performing hard to get, right? But at the same time, I that just every guy time I see someone is in church and I see that he's single, then I'm like, maybe it's potential. But like that's not how to do this life. You'll just be living your life on the edge, like, okay, maybe this one is potential. And what if it's like somebody else's husband, or what if it's not serious? I don't think I appreciate that approach anymore. It's not ideal to consider every single person an ideal like a potential partner maybe they really are, but you can't just live your life on the edge waiting for a partner to come. I feel like the desperation reeks, like they can smell it from afar. Anyways, that was my own experience, yeah. So my eagerness to meet someone and being anxious about not seeing things happen on my preferred timeline did not help. It only led to me welcoming everyone that seemed like a potential date without really screening them. Thankfully, I was shielded by God's mercy from many of the consequences that could have come from my unwise, unguided desperation. All I have to show for that season of life are unpleasant memories of mistakes I did not have to make and stories about people like not so angelic. Anyways, you meet all kinds of people, but you do not have to accept all types of people into your life. You can avoid many love and relationship problems by becoming more aware of your personal problem areas, setting appropriate boundaries in relationships, and desiring and working towards better relationship outcomes. We talk about all of this in this book. This book is for you if you believe in love that lasts and you want it. It's for you if you desire marriage and are tired of investing your time and energy in people who do not mirror the same effort. Word. This book is also for you if you are this book is also for you if a part of you is confident that there has to be more to love. You know that love could be better, more profound, more satisfying, more growth inducing, less casual, less selfish, more heaven like. Yeah. So, I'm a Christian. This means that my understanding of the Bible and its teachings about life have significantly influenced my perspective on everything, including relationships. There is a chance that you will read this book and find it to be preachy. Hopefully, you don't just feel pushed at. You also be able to resonate with the message deep down. I hope you will agree with the principles in this book and that some of it will stick with you and it will make sense to put your head and your heart. This book will leave you with a desire to have for better outcomes in relationships and equip you with the skills to achieve these outcomes. Let's get into it. Okay. You guys, I see that there's been some questions. Thank you, everyone who's just coming. Welcome to my book launch. I'm talking about Situationship, How to Start Breaking Your Own Heart. It's a book I wrote. My name is Fope Nkwocha. If you've never met me, thank you for being here still. It's available on Amazon, Kindle, Okada Books, Google Books, iBooks, and there's a link in my bio to get three free chapters. But I want to see questions you have. So if you've asked any questions, I'm going to take them right now. I see some comments. Unnecessary stress, the pain, and people who forget the wedding ring at home. OMG, people forget their wedding ring. Okay. So were you able to talk about to your friends about your situationship? That's one question. What would you say to someone who feels too ashamed to leave a situationship? How's the process of drafting the book, most especially the self-publishing part? Do you have any advice for single season? OMG. Okay, so I'll slow down a little bit. The first question I would take is, were you able to talk to your friends about your situationship? Do you know that it's really interesting that there was a sense of shame to feeling like I was dumped, even though it wasn't a legit relationship. Like eventually I did, but like at the time, I told one friend about it, like this was going on, and to be honest, she wasn't feeling the guy, so she had nothing good to say about it. But at the same time, I wanted to be open. Like it's so hard. You want to be open, like you don't want to cut potential people out, but then you also want to be selective. So like, how do you find this balance? I spoke to some friends about it. I didn't think I realized it was a situationship while I was in it. I thought maybe it was like a potential relationship, but then when the thing ended, and I was so mad. In fact, I didn't know that I could keep malice or like be a grudge against him. But every time I saw him, some kind of deep revolt. Something would just come up in my body like, oh, like I should just puke. It was really stressful. But I spoke to some friends about it. At the time, I think I felt a sense of shame about it, like, oh, I can't believe I let this happen to me. But eventually I spoke to some friends about it. Um but then at one point as well, I thought that every time I was talking to people about it, was it when I had finally forgiven and forgotten and all of that, I was like, if I'm telling this story over and over again, then does that mean I haven't gotten over it? So at some point I just stopped talking about it as well. I hope that answers the question. Yeah. So what happened to Mr. Not so Angelic? He needs a copy of the book? Fun fact. I don't know if I should say that. I'll leave fun fact alone. I think he's doing well. He's all right. What would you say to someone who feels too ashamed to leave a situationship? Well, I guess I've been in your shoes, is what I would say. The shame is if you've realized that this isn't working, and you've invested time in it. The time I actually said this in this book. The time you spent in a relationship that is not working is a sunk cost. It means you cannot recover it. So there's just no point in investing more time in it. It's like if you literally know that something is not working, why would you continue investing your time? Your life is an investment. Your the time you're spending in with this relationship is sometime you could be spending doing any other thing. Even basic things that like enjoying your life. You could be learning things, you could be chilling with your friends, you could be going back to school, you could be working, you could be building that side business, you could be dating somebody else. Like don't feel stuck in it. The sense of shame, I guess, it comes from knowing that time has passed, but at the same time, don't feel stuck. If you can muster up the courage, talk to someone, just a friend, and unburden it, and talk to God as well. I think that's what helped me the most, just like talking to God about it. And that's when I finally was able to forgive, because I was so mad all the time and I wished the person really ungodly things. But I was able to get over it in that way. And I hope I've somehow answered that question. Talk to someone about it and be willing to let it go. How was the process of drafting the book, most especially self-publishing? I got this question a bunch of times, so I'm gonna answer it. Um, so I didn't really plan to write a book so soon. Like, this is what happened. One time, Obi and I were talking. Obi's my husband, and I said, "Oh, I'm going to write a book at some point." And Obi's action thoughts to action list is like really short. He's like, "Think, do." Me, I'm like, think again, think some more, research, like analyze, do a SWOT analysis. Is it working? And then maybe do, maybe not do. Like, but like I married someone that's like think do. So a couple weeks before our wedding, um, we had things pretty prepped. We had a lot of help, so things were ready on time. And so I would be at home after work, just chilling, watching Netflix. So every time he calls, he'll be like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Just chilling." It's like every day, just chilling. Like, is there anything? They said, "This book you said you wanted to write, won't you start writing?" But in my own head, I was going to write it at some point, not necessarily right now. Like, it just didn't think I didn't think I was going to do it so soon. So he encouraged me to do it, like to start something. So I started putting. I went online and figured out how to write a book. Right? They said to put down like a table of content, or so like figure out what you want to write, figure out what should be in it. So I wrote like a paragraph to kind of describe what I was trying to say, which was to help millennials realize that it's a better way to do dating, to talk about my own experiences, and yeah, be vulnerable as I can be. So I did that. Then I broke it down into chapters. I thought it was actually just four chapters when I broke it down, which is now what became four parts. Um, and then I still was stuck. I really felt stuck writing the book. So I did what I know how to do. I used to have a blog. In 2012, I started a blog, and I wasn't very consistent, so you might not know about it. But it was Hey Foxy, then it was FoxyCA. The names were always changing. But now, everything's on by foxy.com, so you can find me there. Um, how I wrote this book. I figured out that I know how to write blogs, right? So I would write each chapter like a blog post. Pretty much, I did that. So every time I went through a blog, like a block of content, that was like a blog, then I was done. Then I had to make it link together somehow. I did that part after the fact. And then self-publishing, there's so much information on the internet. I watched so many videos. I read through um, discussion forums. It's not that hard once you figure it out. And if you, I might do a proper video on it on the process of self-publishing. The one tip that people gave me that I did not take that I wish I took was pay somebody to edit your book. I edited this book like maybe 10 times or more. So I thought it was, and at that point I had invested so much time, so I didn't really think I wanted to pay someone to do what work at that point. But now I've seen some things, and I'll let you find them yourself. Anyway, so moving along, it was an easy process, and I'm also evolving, right? Like at the beginning, I thought I was just going to do Amazon, but I found other options of ways to publish the book, and I've done that, and I'm learning now. And I hear you're asking for um, Audible. I'm trying to work on that as well. If you have any questions, you can ask them in the question mark thing. So don't forget, that's what I'm doing right now, answering questions. Uh, do you have Oh, I could have been tapping on them when I was answering them. There we go. I'm learning. Do you have any advice for the single season? Um, a lot of advice. Hi, Melody. Ooh, there's a whole lot of advice. Have you read the book? First of all, you should get the book. But I'll pick three things. Singleness is not a disease, and one of the things that I'm learning now is that your life single is pretty much going to be your life married. If you're bored and stressed single, you're going to be bored and stressed married. Like you're just adding somebody else to your life. How I found married life so far is like it's like having a roommate that is involved in literally everything. So it's not, don't think about it as as some giant deal. It's not that big a deal. It's a big deal, but it's not that much of a change. So everything you want to be doing right now, everything you imagine you to be doing with your life, start doing it while you're single. Invest in friendships. That's the big thing I can say. I feel like the single most effective way to guard yourself against um, unproductive relationships is to invest in friendships. People that actually know you, people that actually know what's up with you, people that you can unburden to, people that you can tell about problems with porn, with masturbation, big things like that. Yeah, invest in those kinds of friendships, and don't assume that don't assume that you can do life alone. Nobody does life well alone. Invest in friendships. If you're not a part of a local church, find one and throw yourself into it and actually get involved. I feel like I've grown so much by volunteering in church. Everything I know about using email lists, mailing lists, design, managing social media, marketing my own book, and everything I have learned from my years of volunteering with Live It Loud. Shout out to Live It Loud, from my years of managing church accounts and things like that. So like, do the things you want to do, invest in people. Yeah, I've always been a mentor to people, even as a 16-year-old. I don't know how I manage that, but like, invest in people, invest in your life, and it will always pay off if you invest in yourself. So spend your life doing the things you want to do. Figure out what those things are and just start them already. That's what I would say. Thank you guys for your questions. I am taking some other ones now. Uh, how do you balance openness and being selective? So earlier on, I was saying that it's hard to balance being open to options, like being open to meeting people, right? And also being having standards. So the answer is literally what I just said. Have some standards about this is what I would take or not take in my life. One of the things that helped me was to write a vision, literally write it down, what I wanted for my life and what kind of person would help make that thing possible. Like this might seem extreme, but on our first date, I was telling Obi that I was like, I'm going to be rich. Can you handle me being like potentially richer than you? Like, I know you might be rich as well, but I think I'm going to be like really involved in a lot of things and just like I have a lot to me. Pretty much what I was trying to say. Like, there's my life is very out there and like I'm involved in a lot of things. Like I wanted to see that he could handle it, and from little things like talking about things I wanted to do in my life, like this book. I like the response that he gave. Have a vision for your life and find somebody that when you're evaluating, try to evaluate on things that matter. So when you're dating, it's really easy, or picking people to date, it's really easy to only focus on things that are happening right now, like their physique, how they speak, and things like that. But so I don't know if I'm answering this question, but let me take a second to think. Openness and selectiveness. Realize that on one hand, you might not find someone that meets every single thing you want, but there should be the negotiables and the non-negotiables. The non-negotiables are things like belief in God. That's not just head knowledge, but you actually see them living out their faith. I have a whole checklist on different maturity kinds: spiritual, financial, emotional, in this book at some point. Not a checklist, but like a breakdown of what it looks like. And I hope you check that out. So you can be open in the sense that you might not have the person you meet might not be exactly how you expect them to be when you meet them, but you should have standards. Another thing that might help in your selection process is have like people that you trust to do dating with. So like a community that you can date in, people that you can bring your potential partner to, and you can get them to evaluate who they are, like what they are like. So if you have those people, then it kind of shelters you. So yes, you're open to people, but then if your community of people, your tribe of people that you like mentors, if you're not into them and you don't have peace about them and you pray about it and you still don't feel like they're right for you, then you can let them go. I think I'm going to answer this question in a YouTube video because I need some time to think about it. But thank you for this question. It's really great. How, yeah. Okay. Let me see if I have any more questions. What would you say? Uh, okay. Don't think I have any new questions, but if you have any questions, just tap them. So my book giveaway. How do I keep track of you guys that have said? Okay, I don't know that Instagram Live saves my comments. So just to be extra sure, two posts to go. After we're done, if you want a shirt versus the book, just comment on the second to the last video, the one where I posted about this Instagram Live. It's an Instagram Live announcement thing. Tell me what you want there, and I will select a winner randomly. I'll literally enter you into a random selector, and whoever wins wins. So This doesn't have to be an hour long if we're done. But if you want me to answer any specific questions, please ask them, and I will get to them right away. Thank you guys for ordering the book. Thank you guys for joining me. Any questions? You can pin your comment on the live. Uh, how do you avoid falling into a situationship? Um, kind of same thing I said about singleness. You can avoid that by deciding how long you will be in a relationship without defining it. Because really, what situationships are undefined relationships, right? So decide how long is too long. Like I don't see why you should be talking to someone with no intention stated for an entire year. That's just too long for me. So decide how long is too long for you to be in that undefined phase and stick with it. Like have that conversation early on that you're looking for something serious. I'm looking for something serious, and if you, exactly, or just read my book, as Sulu said. Um, but that's the main thing. Decide how long you will be in a relationship for without it being defined, and stick with your gut. All right, guys. So my giveaway winner will be announced in my stories as a post. I have to coordinate this better. I really want to get either the shirt or the book out. So if you want the shirt, comment under my second to last post. And if you want the book, comment under the second to last. We'll just say what you want, literally. It's that easy. If there are no other questions, I'm going to wrap up early because we are. Oh, there's one more question. What are your thoughts on dating apps? Oh, this is a good question. Okay, so dating apps are like, don't comment here if you want the share, by the way. Comment on my second post because I won't see it here. It disappears. Dating apps are great, but they are stressful. I talk about this in the book as well. I think that if you use dating apps, you should only use them to meet people. Don't use them to date. Like, take it offline after like a couple interactions. If they seem legit, agree to meet somewhere safe. Safe means open, and they tell your friends where you're going so that they can grab you if things go south. Um, but like, don't stay on them for too long. For me, I struggle with finding serious Christians on dating apps, even when they claim to be Christians, and it wasn't really productive. It was just like it felt like shopping. It was really strange, like just swiping, swiping. It wasn't authentic, but I've had people that have had success with it, so maybe I just wasn't patient enough. Some people that have had success with this, they go on dates, evaluate how this is going, and they don't waste too much time. Like if it's not going well, then thank you, but no thanks. So that's kind of, I think you can try them, but there are better ways to meet people. I have like 12 ways to meet people written in my book as well, and I'll give you a few for free right now. Let your friends know that you're ready to be dating and you're single and ready to mingle, and put yourself out there some more. What that means is go to events you're invited to, be open and be friendly to people. Even here on this Instagram streets, guys, people are meeting on this app, and yeah, so don't sleep on it. Being this conversation is good. Like if somebody was really engaging on this conversation right now, like I noticed them and they stand out to me, so that it might not seem like a way to meet people, but people meet in different ways. Just put yourself out there some more. And maybe one more on how to meet people. Pray about it. I believe God answers all prayers and He can bring people to you at those points in time. At what age should one start thinking about a serious relationship? I say wait to date until you can marry. It's hard, but I say so. Whatever age you think you're ready to marry, that's the answer. I want to see what other people think about that question. What do you guys think? At what age should one start thinking about serious relationship? I'm looking forward to your answers. If no one has any other questions, guys, we'll be wrapping up. Hope, except you have. Oh, I see more questions. Uh, where did the name Foxy the Great come from? Okay, so you know how I said whatever will be on the shirt will be speak life over your love life. One day I was in church and I think there was this verse about how, yeah, I should know it off my hand, but like how the about how there's how we create with our words or something. And I was really confused about my life at the time. Like, what am I going to do? I still don't know how to introduce myself because there's a lot of things I do well, and I don't know which one of them is necessarily one I want to define myself by. And I just figured that I'm going to be great, yeah. Whatever it is I'm doing, I will be great. So it's not like Fopsy the florist, Fopsy the business analyst, Fopsy the vlogger or anything. Just I will be great, Sha. That was the idea with behind Foxy the Great. I know, not very exciting, but only be exciting, however you think about that. Any other questions? Hi, Auntie Ronke. Thank you for joining. Um, I think that is all. So if you want to win a free book of any format, whichever one you come, or you want to win a shirt with "Speak Life Over Your Love Life," I'm only picking one winner, but just comment on my second to the last post and tell me what you want to win, and I'll DM you if you're the selected winner. I'll show you the process of how I selected the winner. Thank you guys for joining. I think that's a great answer because long relationships are hard if you're aiming for purity. Absolutely. That's so true. I say wait to date till you're ready to marry because long relationships are hard if you're waiting for purity. You guys, this was amazing, and I'm grateful for you for being here. Thank you for joining me today. If you are here on YouTube, I want to say thank you as well for joining. You can keep up with me by following me here on Instagram or follow me on YouTube as well. You can buy the book if you haven't already. It's available on Amazon. It's available on Google Books, iBooks, and Okada Books. Please buy it. Please tell your friends about it. Buy it for your children. One of my friends said she's keeping it for her children, and I love it. Anyway, so thank you guys for your support. I appreciate you. Please keep spreading the word. I really, really appreciate you guys. Thank you for spending my birthday with me. I have balloons and everything, yellow. I promised cake. I'm gonna post my banana bread recipe. That's the cake. That's what I meant by cake. You guys can make it in your own houses. There's no other way to send cake to you. Thank you guys. This is the end of our Instagram live. I'm so grateful to you for being here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Have an awesome day, guys. Thanks, my friends. I am done.